Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today then I wanted to go ahead and just kind of share like a day in my planners as well as my journals. Typically the first planner that I would reach for every day would be my Sterling Ink Common Planner. This is what I would consider to be kind of more of like my actual planner slash productivity notebook. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the first page that I open up to every single day would be this yearly tracker at pretty much the beginning of the book. And so the pen that I typically like to use to fill out my planner would be the Uniball Signo DX gel pen. This is just in the black shade, and this is also in the 0.28 millimeter size, so very thin. And the day that I am currently filming this is Wednesday, April 2nd. Now this is the spread where I like to come into every day and just document my workout, my weight, and the days that I am on my period. For today, then I will just be filling in the workout as well as my weight. So this morning, then I did go on the elliptical. So I like to write the workout first on this top line, and then I'll go ahead and write down my weight below it. And that is all that I do for this page here. That is very quick and self-explanatory. Next, then I just flip over to these quarterly spreads, and we did just finish quarter one, so now I will go ahead and flip over to quarter two. And this is where I finish up any habits that I completed yesterday that I didn't get a chance to fill out before the end of the day. And then I'll also start filling out any of the ones that I've already completed for today. So on a daily basis, I don't really do too much with the priorities side over here. I mainly just focus on the right side here where I have my habits listed out. So for yesterday, April 1st, then I already marked down that I did a workout, I did my morning routine, I woke up at 7 a.m. and that I did some journaling that day. So to come back and just finish up for yesterday, then we did do a daily devotion, so I will cross that out. And then I did take my vitamins. I did spend, so I will not be checking this box off just because this habit indicates that I did not spend that day, and I did yesterday, so I will leave it blank. But I did do my night routine. So for yesterday, then I did do all of my habits successfully except for the no spending. Now moving on to today, Wednesday the 2nd, then I did do my workout. I did my morning routine. I also woke up at 7 a.m. and as you'll see later in the video, as part of kind of my planner slash journaling routine every day, then I will be doing some journaling. So I like to just go ahead and cross that out just because I know for sure that I will be doing that. And then that's basically all that I fill in during the morning. And then sometimes when I have time later in the day and I've already completed the rest of the things, then I will go ahead and just come back and fill them in. If not, then I will just fill them back in the following morning. Alright, so that is it for this page here. Now, I pretty much just like to follow my tabs and flip over to the next one here. I typically like to just take a glance at the monthly spread and just see if there are any additional plans that came up like overnight or over the past few days that I have not added to the monthly spread. This is where I would add them now, but as of right now, I don't really have any other additional plans that I have not already written down. And then I also like to just take a look at the to-do list down here. Just take a look if I have completed anything yet, and if so, then I would just go ahead and cross it off to show that it has been completed. Moving on, then I will go ahead and flip over to the next tab, and this will just bring me to the current week. So as you can see, I pretty much did fill out everything for yesterday, but I do need to start filling in a few things for today. So currently I am obviously filming a day in my planners, so I will go ahead and just mark that complete because I do plan on finishing up the filming today and possibly even tomorrow morning. And then I do have plans to start setting up next week's spread. And then I do have a work meeting today at 12:30. I'll have to give Homer some medication today, and then for the evening, then we have plans on game night. So to start off, then I will go ahead and take my color of the week, which is my Tombow dual brush pen in the 885 shade. And every week, then I just select a different colored Tombow just to indicate the hours that I am intermittent fasting. So as you can see for the previous week, then I did not eat until about 11:30 for Monday the 24th, and then I stopped eating around 6 p.m. So that is just kind of how I like to track my intermittent fasting and just be able to observe patterns over an extended period of time. And so I actually have not broken my fast yet. I haven't had anything today, but I do plan on having my coffee around 10 a.m. So I think I'll go ahead and just fill that in to start, just because I like to lay down this block of color first before I go in and add any additional like writing or decorations over it. And then moving on, then I really haven't done too much this morning. I just went on the elliptical for 41 minutes and I got showered up. I started doing some work. So as far as other things that I have going on for today, then I do currently have a load of laundry going. So I will reach for my little sticker book here. It's from the MU Print On brand. And then I did just hand make a bunch of stickers like a few weeks ago, and I have some specifically of our laundry baskets. So I'm taking my precision stationary tweezers and I'm just going to pick up one of these baskets and paste it onto the page. And the way that I like to use my weekly spreads is I do try and keep closely to the timeline on the side here. I do try and write down like the order of my tasks and the things that I did during the day in chronological order. That's something that is new to me this year, so I have been liking that so far, and it just gives me a little bit more context when I am flipping back through these weeks, and I can just kind of see like the order of which I did things during the day. But anyway, I have a load of laundry going, and then I think I'll go ahead and just doodle on a little YouTube play button similar to what I did here for Monday. And I'll just go ahead and say that I am filming my day in planners. So sometimes if there are things that I've already done or am currently doing, then I will write them chronologically. And then sometimes I will just randomly think of like a task list that I need to do or things that I need to remind myself about that day. So I will go ahead and just add a hollow circle just to indicate that there is kind of like an event going on today. And it's not like a huge event or anything, but I should be expecting a package from UPS. It was supposed to get delivered yesterday, but because we've been having kind of like blizzard weather going on, then it did not make it yesterday. So hopefully it will arrive today. So I'll go ahead and just leave that there for now. And then moving on to kind of more of like the afternoon, then I will have to do some cooking today. So going back to my sticker sheet here, I'll go ahead and just pick up one of these knife and cutting board stickers. And I'll actually place it down here closer to like the end of the workday, because that is when I would like to start working on supper. So I'll go ahead and just mark a little dot to indicate that it is a task, and just write down that I will need to bake the chicken thighs. Alright, so that is kind of all that I have planned for today so far. Typically I like to mark off when I come in and fill in all my planners, but because I'm also like filming that process today, then I'm not really sure if I will go ahead and also like add a sticker to indicate that, but I will go ahead and just leave those areas blank for now. I'll probably check Animal Crossing at some point and just document like the turnip prices, or I'll probably just come in and fill in this space later on with like a little journal entry or something, but I will go ahead and just leave that blank for now. Typically between like 5 to 7, then that is when my husband and I will have supper and just spend some time together before I go off and have game night with my siblings. But in terms of Thursday, then I do want to take salmon out just because we will be making that Friday evening. And I think I'll go ahead and add for Friday evening that we will be going to my in-laws. So I'm not sure how long we'll be there. I'll probably have it go until like 9. And this just signals to my mind that I have time blocked off for a specific obligation, similar to how I like to mark off my work schedule and then other social obligations during the week, such as phone calls, game nights. So that's kind of the way that I like to document and plan things in my planner. Some of it's for planning and a lot of it is also for memory keeping. I think that's probably all that I will do for now. I'll definitely come back to the spread either later in the day or possibly even tomorrow morning, depending on the things that come up and how busy I am. One thing that I've also been keeping track of every day for the past few weeks is I'll just flip back to this page. It's just something that I drew out in one of these back pages. And I talked about this in my last video, but it's basically just kind of like a workout routine that I created for myself. And in the end, if I am able to complete all 5 weeks of the workout challenge, then I am able to reward myself with a new fountain pen. So because I did do my elliptical workout this morning, then I am just taking that same Tombow that I used for the intermittent fasting for this week, and I'm just going to cross today off. So just something very small but very satisfying to do every single day, and to just come back to it and review my progress and just get a little bit closer to basically the 11th of April, and hopefully I'll be able to complete all of this so that I can deserve a new fountain pen, which I am very excited about. So with that, then I will go ahead and move on to my next planner. Alright, so if you are familiar with my channel and have seen my journal lineup for this year, you may be wondering, what is this and why do I have it? Well, I was actually recently gifted this Hobonichi Weeks from my sister. She got it as part of her 2025 lineup, but she quickly found that she didn't really need it in her lineup anymore, and so she decided to just send it over to me so that I can give it a try. I had never tried a Hobonichi Weeks before, and so something that I've just been trialing for the past few weeks now is basically just doubling up on the same information that I have been writing in my common planner. Basically just testing it out to see if I like it, and so far I do have to say that it has been very interesting. I do really like the slim and like portable feature of it. It's just very compact. So this has basically been part of my planning routine for the past few weeks since I got this, just so that I can work with it for an extended period of time and just see whether or not it works for me and if I would consider getting this to be my planner for next year. One thing that I have noticed about this planner so far, the Hobonichi Weeks, is that there's just not as much room per day to write as many tasks down that I would be able to write down in my Sterling Ink common planner. So unfortunately not all of the same information is able to get transferred over, but I would say that for the most part, it's perhaps the more important tasks that do end up making its way into this one as well. In terms of today, then I am filming the video, and then I also did the elliptical, and I have not done the remaining tasks yet. For Thursday, like how I wrote in my common planner, then I need to remember to take the salmon out. For my to-dos, then I will go ahead and cross this out as well. And I guess that is it for now. So yeah, basically the way that I have been using this is that I will divide the page up, and as you can see, I have just different headings listed for each section. So I just list out some events on this side. I have some tasks next to it. Just a long form to-do list where I can come in and brain dump whatever tasks or things that I need to do that week on this side and basically just distribute it throughout the week. And then over here on the furthest right hand side, then I've just been writing some gratitude throughout the week. This is also something that I've been liking to incorporate and just have an abundance of space to be able to write whatever comes to mind. So that is basically how I've been using the Hobonichi Weeks as well. If you are interested in seeing more of like an in-depth review on my thoughts on this planner, then do please let me know. I would really love to do that for you, and I think that that would be very interesting just because I have been trialing this out. But yeah, that is basically it for my Hobonichi Weeks. Very short, very simple, not too much going on with it, but I have been enjoying it. Alright, so the third journal that I will be working on this morning is, of course, my little Hobonichi HON. So this one isn't necessarily being used as a planner, although it definitely could be. It does have the monthly spreads as well as like daily pages for you to do some planning if you would like, but because I got this as a gift, then I decided that I would just want to use it more so for memory keeping. So let's go ahead and open it up. So the first spread that I like to turn to every day in this journal is basically like these vertical monthly layouts. And what I've been doing for these spreads is I'll just take my Uniball Jetstream ballpoint pen and I will just write kind of like a one line a day for the previous day. Alright, so that is basically all that I will do for this spread here. The next spread, then I just flip over to this bookmarked page, and then this is where I do my daily doodles. As you can see, for the previous months, then I just come in every single day and I just draw basically like a highlight or kind of the most memorable part of the previous day. So I will need to come in here and draw something out for yesterday, which was the first. So I go ahead and start off with my mechanical pencil, and this one specifically is a Tombow Mono Shaker mechanical pencil in a 0.5mm size. And then I basically just sketch out my doodle first before I go in and ink it in. So something that I have been very excited about recently is finally getting some cat grass for my cats, because I've had a few houseplants in the past, and unfortunately one of my cats, specifically Homer, is just obsessed with eating grass and eating plants. And so although I've had like several houseplants before, he would just end up like chewing on the ends of it, and then it would end up looking like just very sad. So I've ended up having to throw out some of my houseplants because they would just end up dying. So I only have one left and it's just barely hanging on, but I decided to finally bite the bullet and actually just get some cat grass. And the reason why it took me so long to get it in the first place was because I was worried that my cats would not eat it. And I was also skeptical on whether or not it would actually even grow. But I found this little starter pack on Chewy for just a few dollars, and so I figured I might as well just go ahead and give it a try. If it ends up not turning out, then it was only like a few dollars, and so it's not that big of a deal. So I decided to finally get it, and I got it started like last week, and then pretty much after just a couple of days, then it like started growing immediately, and like that was just such an exciting feeling for me. Like, I love being able to just see things grow, and I'm sure that's why like so many people really enjoy having plants in their house. It's been coming along very nicely, but yesterday when I checked it, then it was getting really tall, and I was so excited. It like made me feel really good. So I definitely wanted to just remember how tall it was getting. But yeah, I guess that is what I decided to draw for yesterday. Alright, so now that the ink is done, then I'll just go in and erase the pencil marks. And yeah, that's basically it. That's what I like to do for my daily doodles, is I'll just come in and sketch out a doodle for the previous day, and then it's just really satisfying to be able to fill it up over the month and be able to look through it at the end of the year and after several years. So something that has just been so very satisfying to me for several years now. Alright, so now that I am done with the daily doodle, then I just go on to the next part of the planner. And the last thing that I like to do in this planner is just to write out a journal entry for the day. So typically I like to fill this out like later in the day, just so that there are more things that I can actually like write about pertaining to that day. But so far, just because I haven't really done too much aside from working out and doing some work and filming this video, then I think I'll probably go ahead and wait to fill this in later. Something that I've been liking to do with this planner specifically is try and match my ink color to like the color of the month. And so for instance, like just going back to March, then I was using this very soft, muted, dusty purple color. It's the Uniball 1 Blackberry Sorbet shade. And so for the month of April, then I'm using Zebra Sarasa Vintage color in the Cassis Black. Unfortunately, it's not the perfect match that I thought it was initially, but I think I'll just go ahead and roll with it for the month. It is what it is. So I think I'll just come back to this later in the day and then just fill it in with a little journal entry with whatever is on my mind at the time. But yeah, I just wanted to share this ahead of time so that you know that this is also just part of my process. So it's the afternoon now. I'm just coming back into my common planner just to add a few updates since this morning. So it turns out that the UPS delivery is again being delayed, so I would likely expect it tomorrow, so I will go ahead and just indicate that for Thursday. And I did end up checking Animal Crossing very quickly before my 12:30 meeting, so I'm actually reaching back into my sticker book and pulling out this sheet of stickers that my sister actually made for me. And I'm just going to be taking one of these leaf stickers that is supposed to signify like an item in Animal Crossing, and I'll go ahead and just place it there before my meeting. So the turnip prices were unfortunately very bad, and they will likely continue to decline over the week, unfortunately, so I will most likely not make a profit this week, which really sucks. And then after my meeting, then I just got caught up with some more work, and I really just prefer not to include very much work information aside from my schedules, any days off, as well as any meetings that I have, just because quite frankly it's not that interesting to me. It's not very important, and just something that I would rather not think about in something that I do enjoy doing, such as my planner. So this is why I tend to focus more on like the things that I actually do enjoy doing, like some of my hobbies or things that I'm watching or games that I'm playing, etc. I will go ahead and just jot down with another little dot indicating a task, and then I did start editing the first portion of the video this morning, so I do want to just go ahead and document that. And then I also just had a little play session with my cats, so I think I will go ahead and just include a little cat sticker just to indicate that that happened. So again, reaching back into my little sticker book, and I'm just grabbing one of these sheets of cat stickers that my sister had made for me in the past, and I'm just picking one of these up, placing it right here, and then I'll also just write right next to it that I just played with my cats. Alright, so that's basically my day so far. I think I'll go ahead and just leave this again until either later or tomorrow morning. I still have to do my journal entry in my Hobonichi HON, so let me go ahead and get that out of the way, and we'll see if I come back around to set up next week. Alright, so reaching back for my Hobonichi HON, I'm just going to flip over to today's journal entry page, or today's daily page rather, and then I'll go ahead and just fill this in. Basically, I just like to add the time that I am writing the journal entry or starting it, and pretty much just write down whatever's on my mind or anything in particular that I have been thinking about all day. So let me go ahead and get that taken care of. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, then for the month of April, then I'm using one of these Zebra Sarasa Vintage Gel Pens in the Cassis Black shade. Alright, so here is my journal entry for today, April 2nd. It did take me just about 10 minutes to complete this page, which is very nice. I'd say that it's the perfect size for days where you have a lot of things going on, but it's still a small enough area for you to write things out and it won't take forever. But I also think that it's simultaneously a very perfect amount for when you do have some extra time on your hands and you do want to be able to write out like a full, complete thought that you have, then I think that it's just a very great size for you to do that. Anyway, now that it is 3:15, then I think I will try to set up my weekly spread for next week in my common planner, and possibly even my Hobonichi Weeks. Alright, so just as an update, it's been maybe like about an hour since I last filmed the update, but I just did some more work, and then I also worked on next week's spread. So I'm just going to add that below the homework medication, which I have not done yet, but I will do in just a moment here after I am done filming for now. So I did go ahead and set up next week's spread, and then I also just added a couple more tasks for this weekend that I wanted to try and get done. So that was basically all that I decided to add while I was also like kind of working on next week's spread. So yeah, that is basically just the update for now. Alright everyone, so I am just coming back in and doing a final check-in of my journals for the day. It is currently pretty late. It's almost midnight and we just got done playing Stardew Valley and just finished up with game night, so I wanted to just come in here and quickly finish off the day and just go ahead and finish the video off at night rather than waiting until tomorrow morning. So just to come back and finish off Wednesday here, then I did end up making the chicken thighs for supper, so I will go ahead and just check off that task. And then here I just want to say that I did some relaxing before Stardew Valley, and to just quickly add a little sticker here for Stardew Valley. Then again, coming back to this sheet of stickers that my sister had made for me before, she did include some Stardew Valley stickers that I will go ahead and just use one of them to paste in for this week. So I'll go ahead and take this triple shot espresso icon, and I think I'll put it right over here. And then for this area under the Stardew Valley, or like kind of to recap what we did during game night, then I basically just jot down some of the achievements that we ended up making. So went to the Skull Caverns, we progressed through winter of year 2, and then I also increased fishing, combat, and mining skills. Alright, so I will pretty much leave it at that for my common planner for today. So this is basically just how I like to fill in a day in my common planner. Hey guys, editing me here. I realized that I forgot to basically like close off my intermittent fasting for the day, so I went ahead and just colored a stripe from 6 p.m. to the rest of the day the following morning. So that is another thing that I would do at the end of the day. So just wanted to hop on here and explain this part as well. Alright, so the final part of my everyday planning slash journaling routine ends with this Midori 10-year diary. So this is basically like the very last journal that I open up for the day. It's what I like to fill out right before bed, and I basically just come in here just to jot down a couple of sentences regarding the day. And the pen of choice that I have been using for this year so far has been the Zebra Sarasa Vintage in the red-black shade. So I will go ahead and just fill in a short entry for today. So here is the final piece of my journaling routine. So that is it for a day in all of my journals slash planners. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful, or at least entertaining. I would love to know what planners and journals you have been using so far this year and how that's been going. I love hearing from you guys. If you have any further questions or comments, then please let me know those as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.